Good morning. I'd like to call to order the open meeting for Thursday, May 15th, 2025. I will now ask the Commission Secretary for information on today's agenda.
Each commissioner has independently reviewed the minutes of the open meeting of Thursday, May 1st, 2025, and each has informed me there is no need to discuss the minutes.
I move we approve the minutes of the open meeting of Thursday, May 1st, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Each commissioner has independently reviewed the agenda, and each has informed me there is no need to discuss the notices associated with agenda items 2 through 9, the draft order to reopen notice and request for comment and docket 5 AE 235 associated with agenda item 10, the suggested minute associated with agenda item 11, approving the request of Walnut Way for intervenor compensation in the amount of $20,227 for its participation in docket 6630 CG 139, the suggested minute associated with agenda item 13, approving MGE's proposed shared solar 2 tariff without the low income option included and with all conditions proposed by commission staff in its memorandum, or the suggested minute associated with agenda item 14, granting Wisconsin Power and Light's request for reopening and directing the issuance of an order to reopen notice and request for comment, and allowing WPNL to provide an update on the ANR Heartland project and information on carrying costs.
I move we approve the notices of investigation associated with agenda items 2 through 5.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I move we approve the notices of proceeding associated with agenda items 6 through 9.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. In docket 5 AE 235, I move we approve the draft order to reopen notice and request for comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. In docket 1 IC 570, I move we fully fund Walnut Way's IC request in the amount of $20,227.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. In docket 3270 TE 119, I move we approve Madison Gas and Electric's new community solar program consistent with the Secretary's description.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. In docket 6680 AF 108, I move we grant the request for reopening and direct the issuance of an order to reopen, notice, and request for comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. That brings us to our one discussion item of today. It's number 12, 5 FE 104, the focus on energy quad planning goals and allocation adjustments. Commissioner Nieto is our delegated commissioner on these issues, so I'm going to turn it over to her to lead our discussion.
Thanks, Chair Strand. I'll set the stage really briefly here and then turn it over to my colleagues. This is a mid-quad check-in, essentially. So the Focus on Energy program runs on a quadrennial cycle. So the goals, priorities, targets for the program are set on a 4-year basis. So we are right in the middle of that 4-year basis, and we have some information known to us that wasn't known at the time of planning for the quad, which is how it happens. Once you get past year 2, you know some of the new budget information about the economy, and information about how programs are going that you don't know at the outset of planning for a quad. And so in light of the updated information we've received, we have a proposal from the program administrator, Aptum, to make a couple of mid-quad adjustments. So we really have 2 pieces that we're looking at. Part 1 is Aptum is sharing with us information that it will be able to exceed the therm savings goals that were set during this quad. The therm savings goals were set at a time when we were coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic. It was a very unusual time for the economy. There were a lot of supply chain issues going on, and they were set fairly low as an anomaly, with the full knowledge that we would have to come back and look at them again due to the time we were in. So Aptum has looked back at that and come back to us with a proposal to increase its own goals that it's going to be held to. And then part 2 of this discussion is we have the new budget numbers in, telling us how much budget Focus has for the rest of the quad, because Focus's budget is set on the utilities revenues. And so some utilities rates have increased, their revenues have increased, and that has increased the dollars for the Focus budget going forward. So Aptum has, number 1, a proposal of how to apply that additional budget in this quad and going forward into the next quad. And then number two, an additional proposal to further increase its own goals in light of the additional budget. And so looking through these components of Aptam's proposal, I was comfortable with what they were proposing and with what staff had gone through as a process to vet those proposals, in addition to working with the utilities Sierra board. So I'll stop with that as an initial introduction here and turn it over to my colleagues for any comments or discussion. Chair Strand?
Thank you. Thank you for setting the stage for us. I don't have additional comments or discussion at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the background. I don't have much to add. I really appreciated getting an understanding of the process and figuring out how all these pieces fit together. And no, nothing else to add for me.
All right, thank you. We can go through the decision points here. So the first decision we do have to make is on the therm goal adjustment. So I was at alternative 1. I would revise the Quad 4 natural gas savings goals. I would increase that goal consistent with Aptam's proposal. Chair Strand?
Thank you. I was at Alt 1 as well. I think it's a reasonable adjustment, and I'm glad that we're revisiting this when we are based on, how the initial goal was a little lower than usual because of kind of the weirdness of the pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you. And Commissioner Hawkins?
And for this one, I was at Alt 2. I was looking at that based on what was achieved in past years, and that seems to be very much in line, maybe slightly lower than what was achieved in past years. And Aptam also said it was achievable. And so because both the Alt 1 and Alt 2 were stated by the program administrator as being achievable, I thought, why not just choose the higher one with more savings? And so, I thought about this in relation to our decision, our third decision. So that was it. I just thought maybe a stretch goal that they also thought was achievable would just be more valuable. So that was my approach there. And I don't know if there's any thoughts from my colleagues.
Yeah, thank you. I think I thought alternative 2 was a possibility as well. I think where I hesitate with alternative 2 is that my understanding is that it's under a little bit more of an optimistic scenario in which all of the projects currently in the pipeline have to be completed in the quad plus the anticipated projects. And it's kind of intersecting at a time when things have now in 2025 started to slow down from the program, and the program's experiencing some of the impacts that everyone is experiencing across the economy. And that is why I thought the middle of the road alternative 1 option was the one I was most comfortable with at this time. I'll leave it at that for now, but circle back to you, Chair Strand. You might have additional thoughts too.
Sure, thank you. I think in general, you guys have probably seen that my approach on these are to kind of defer to the delegated commissioner based on their area of expertise and the amount of work and briefings and discussion that they've put in with the team on these types of decisions. I also feel that if we set it at the Alt 1 levels, they can still outperform that goal and get, hopefully as close to the levels articulated in alternative 2 as well. I don't think there's anything prohibiting them from that, but I also don't want to do anything to set the program up to fall short. If we did set those alternative 2 numbers as the goal. So again, I really feel that Alt 1 is a reasonable approach. We adjusted based on what was happening trend-wise during the pandemic. And I think an incremental kind of measured approach from there is reflected in the Alt 1 goals more than the Alt 2 goals. So I'm comfortable with that and with your kind of initial position and sticking with those because of the reasons I said. And again, there's nothing to prohibit the program from outperforming that goal.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Commissioner Hawkins?
Yeah, I'm fine joining the two of you at Alt 1 with that additional sort of context of what has to happen in order to meet that more optimistic view. So it's certainly sympathize with that. So I'll join you guys at Alt 1.
Okay, thank you. And Next, we have to discuss the allocation of the additional program dollars. I was comfortable with alternative one, Aptam's proposal for the Quad 4 and Quad 5 implementation of those dollars. Chair Strand?
I was at alternative one on that one as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Same here.
Okay, thank you. And then our next decision is further increasing Aptam's goal in line with the additional dollars. And I was at alternative one to increase the goal by 2.41% in proportion to the budget increase.
I was at alternative one as well. Thank you.
Thanks.
I was at Alt 1 as well.
Thank you. All right, and are we ready for a motion? Everybody good? In docket 5 FE 104, I move we direct the Division of Digital Access, Consumer and Environmental Affairs to draft an order consistent with our discussion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioner Nieto, for leading our discussion, and to you both for sharing your thoughts on that one. That does conclude our official business for today. Our next open meeting is scheduled for Thursday, May 22nd, 2025 at 10:30 a.m. May I have a motion to adjourn?
I move we stand adjourned until Thursday, May 22, 2025 at 10:30 a.m.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We're adjourned.